So there is a heavy crackdown going on in China, and this time it's not the populace under radar, or not just only the populace. According to a report from Financial Times, this time the Chinese defense minister is under investigation. So this defense minister was once a loyalist of Xi Jinping, now unmasked as a wolf in sheep's clothing. And this has been the third defense minister going down this path. First, it was Wei Fenghe in March 2023, then Li Shangfu was purged in October 2023, and now Dong Jun in December 2024. If you see Chinese defense ministers, they are generally from the PLA ground forces. Look at this list from 1959 to 2018. All the defense ministers were from PLA ground forces. But Xi Jinping broke the tradition and put his loyalist comrades, even though they were from different branches. And ironically, all three of these bit more than they could chew. So Admiral Dong Jun is under investigation, and soon we could hear about his departure. Or maybe not. It will be quite normal if we didn't hear about him at all. Most probably, he will disappear, and we won't hear about him again. Quite a normal trend in China. Let me back this with an example. In 2023, similar situation happened with the foreign minister. At that time, Qin Gang was the foreign minister of China. And suddenly he disappeared. There was no news about him, no whereabouts of him, and nothing was coming out. And few months later, news came that he has been demoted to lower ranks. And Wang Yi, which was the previous foreign minister, was reassigned for the job. Now the question came, why Qin was removed? So apparently, Qin had an extramarital affair with a high-profile Chinese television presenter. And well, these things are not quite uncommon in CCP, but the problem with him was that they had a child with a surrogate mother in the United States. Now you can imagine she had to remove him after this, and thus he was sacked. So it is quite normal in China for top officials to disappear. But these are very subtle elimination. The month of August 2023 was a massive elimination drive ran by Xi. According to the Pentagon, 15 high-ranking Chinese military officers and defense industry executives were removed from their posts. Now, if we look at this list, there are 7 members from the PLA rocket force alone. And at the top of this list is Miao Hua, or Hua, I don't know. Now, Admiral Miao was not some small fish. He served on the Central Military Commission, and this body is the highest military leadership body of the Chinese Communist Party. And this body heads the People Liberation Army, the PAP, which is the People's Armed Forces, and the militia of China. So if such a high-ranking person is going down for corruption, then you can imagine the level of rot in the system. Also, I mentioned the 7 members of PLA rocket force were also sacked. This arm of the PLA controls all the development and control over the missiles program in China. For example, the ballistic missile program, the intercontinental ballistic missile program, the nuclear arsenal of the Chinese army. So these all are handled by the PLA rocket forces. It is quite understandable to manage this branch, you will require a lot of money. And where there is big money, the corruption would be bigger too. It is estimated that General Li and General Zhu were removed for corruption of as much as $2 billion. So the level of corruption in the rocket force is much bigger in terms of the money involved. And do you know the most troubling situation for Xi is that all these men were promoted by him and they were very close confidant of the president. And corruption in China is not new. And it is not like Xi is not aware of it. As soon as he became the president of China, he started a massive anti-corruption drive. This campaign was popularly known as Tiger, Flies, and everything in between. As you can infer from the name, that the Tigers are the high-ranking officials, and the Flies are the lower-level party members. And well, everything in between is what it is. So this was a massive campaign. There were as much as 4 million cadres and 500 senior officials who were prosecuted under this campaign. Just look at the number. 4 million prosecution in itself tell us about the level of corruption in the system. And this drive was not only carried out in home. Xi also hunted fugitives in abroad with operations like Fox Hunt and Skynet. And one such famous incident which became very popular was the case of Meng Hongwei. So about Meng, Meng was a Chinese politician and later became the president of Interpol in 2016. He was accused of favoring a company in a cybersecurity procurement, and he was sentenced to 13 years of prison time for corruption of $2 million. So it was clear from this campaign that either if you are in China or outside of China, you are not going to be spared. And this political campaign also helped Xi to solidify his control over the Chinese Communist Party. So now, after these many years, if there is still massive level of corruption, it is not a good look for Xi, since these are his people who are tainted by corruption. And after 12 years of this campaign, if there is still so much corruption, then was it more of a political tool to suppress dissenting voices in the party, or was it really an honest effort? And with that, this was it for today. Tell me what you think about this in the comments. Until then, this is Raj signing off. Do like and subscribe.